So when it comes to anime, I don't know if you'd see me as a casual fan or if I'd be considered hardcore into it. I mean, I have all these My Hero Academia posters, 3 volumes of the manga, and several different pieces of merchandise to do with the show, but yet I've never made it past the 3rd season. I struggle to keep up with anime, as I will admit my attention span is gone out the window when it comes to watching stuff. Could it be all the exposure to short form content since the age of 12 combined with a possible neurological issue? No. The one anime that I feel got me into the genre that I find myself going back to time and time again is Astro Boy. He's brave, he's wise, and he made a studio go bankrupt? Now, depending on what age you are now, the version of Astro Boy that you were introduced to the franchise with may differ. If you grew up in the 60s, you'll remember him in black and white, fighting off racists. I hope I don't get guidelines struck in for this video. If you grew up in the mid 80s, you'll remember him in fully color. He has robot parents and falls in love with a literal bomb. Or if you grew up in the early 2000s, you'll remember him like Sonic X. I don't know, I'll be honest, I haven't watched any of this one yet. And finally, if you're growing up right now, there's the latest iteration, Pluto, where instead of being named Astro, he has his original name from Japan, Adam. Now, Adam has the mentality of a child, but is put in literal crime scenes, and he has trauma. There's a few other iterations I didn't mention, but the one I feel like gets overlooked the most is the 2009 movie. The goal of this film was to introduce Astro Boy to a new generation, and well, it didn't really succeed at that. Well, except for me. 5-year-old me would have joined a cult if I knew Astro Boy was leading it. The film was initially revealed to be in the works in September of 2006, and this movie was hyped up. They had McDonald's toys, a Papa Tropica game, and an actual video game. But when it dropped, it just... yeah, this movie flopped at the box office, and I think there were multiple factors that contributed to it. Starting with... firstly, it strayed away from the source material a lot. Astro Boy's origin story is changed up in such a way that it completely changes the way Astro's character is built. See, instead of Toby getting killed in a car accident, he gets vaporized by the Peacekeeper, and then Dr. Tenma takes a strand of hair from Toby's hat and uses it to extract Toby's memory. This just has Astro have an identity crisis throughout the film of where he's supposed to belong, rather than a robot boy who was created after Dr. Tenma lost his son in a car accident and now has to learn about the world. Dr. Elfin acts as a mentor figure to Astro originally, and he had an entire robot family that's just not there in the film. They do share common traits like Astro trying to find his place in human society, and he is considered a hero in both versions. Although he only fights one real threat throughout the film, but I'll give it a pass because you can only fit so many robots getting murdered by a child in an hour and a half. One of the things I genuinely prefer was that they changed the character of Hammock, where instead of him seeming like this guy who right off the bat has blatantly bad intentions for what he wants to use Astro for, he instead has this false narrative set up about him being this fatherly figure that makes you trust him, so it makes the moment he decides to turn on Astro and use him for the robot games that much more shocking. Now, I don't think the sense of humor throughout the film is necessarily bad. It has some great moments like Zane not being able to read or write, saying grace at the dinner table, and of course, Trash Can. Okay, maybe I was wrong about this whole thing because he makes it all worth it in the end. But then you got scenes like this.
I got machine guns in my butt?
Yeah, very early 2010s types of jokes. That, for whatever reason, got even weirder in the game based off this movie.
Butt cannon!
I'm not saying humor is overtly a bad thing because, you know, I'm not that old yet. But trying to insert it into something that wasn't really known for it doesn't fit that well if you ask me. Yes, it's not the end of the world, but this and what my first reasoning was definitely contribute to my next reasoning, which is... Now, this does kind of overlap with the other two reasons I gave, but let me explain. Around the time Astro Boy released, Pixar was peaking with its whole thought-provoking 3D animated films, with titles such as Up, WALL-E, and Toy Story 3, and DreamWorks films around that time being more action-oriented, like the Kung Fu Panda movies and How to Train Your Dragon. Astro Boy, instead of trying to be fully one or the other, ended up stretching itself thin. While it did accomplish both things, they felt rushed and it left little impact. It almost feels like they tried to cover up this fact by getting big names on the film, like Nicolas Cage as Dr. Tenma and Samuel L. Jackson as Zog. Overall, I don't think this is a bad film, it's just very flawed. And even though I said it failed to capture the attention of kids at the time, it captured the attention of me, and at only 7 years old, I was going online and looking up different iterations of Astro Boy and learning about them, watching them, and it got me into the genre of anime. Now, if you're looking for a more modern adaptation of Astro Boy, as I said earlier, Pluto is great. I've only seen a couple episodes, but it's more mature, so if you grew up with Astro Boy, I think you'll enjoy it. I've enjoyed what I've watched of it so far. I've only seen a couple episodes, but I definitely plan on watching more. That's all from me today. And remember, robots can't harm humans, but there's nothing saying we can't do serious damage to a monster.